Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. Introducing the new Audible original Breakthrough.
The genre-redefining audio-only series that strips away the superficial to reaffirm what matters most, pure talent.
Featuring celebrity judges Kelly Rowland, Sarah Bareilles, and host David Diggs.
Hear every step of the musical journey as 5 undiscovered musicians battle through a series of high-stakes singing and songwriting challenges for one top spot.
As musically gifted as they are artistically unique, each finalist is driven by the same dream, to become music's next must-listen.
But to break through, they'll have to dig deep, pushing their vocal, songwriting, and recording chops to their absolute limits while keeping their feet and emotions firmly grounded.
So, who will break through? It's time to find out.
Join Kelly, Sarah, and David on a musical journey unlike anything you've ever seen.
This is Breakthrough.
Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts.
Go to audible.com/breakthrough.
Follow along using hashtag BreakthroughXAudible.
This episode is sponsored by Uber One.
We've all used Uber for rides, and I love using Uber Eats for food delivery, okay? Hello. I mean, I kind of live off of it. But have you ever heard about Uber One? Uber One is a membership that helps you save on Uber and Uber Eats.
With an Uber One membership, you get exclusive member perks, like up to 10% off Uber Eats and a $0 delivery fee on eligible orders. It just makes sense.
I'm always getting Ubers. I'm always doing Uber Eats. This is the perfect sort of membership for me.
I use this all the time. Some restaurants charge so much for the delivery fee, and I order a ton of food. I've saved hundreds of dollars using this.
One membership to save on Uber and Uber Eats. Join Uber One today. Go to uber.com/Uber1 to learn more.
$0 delivery fee and percentage off discount subject to order minimums and participating stores. Taxes and other fees still apply.
Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on Yo Bros. I'm Ronnie, and I am with the gorgeous and talented and currently on the East Coast visiting family after we finished our tour, Mr. Ben Mandelker. Hello, Ben.
Hi, everyone. How's it going? I hope my audio isn't too fucked up. I'm on my Katona microphone, which has its own specific and unique and lovable challenges. So, sorry in advance to everyone who's listening or who's watching this on YouTube. And it's actually a big apology to everyone who's watching this on YouTube because I'm basically being lit by a candle at the moment. I look like I'm in pioneer days.
It does look funny. I feel like I'm doing this with like a teenager in 1997, like for the first live stream ever. And I love it. And look at me looking red and bright with peaches behind me. And if you can see us, it's because you are on Crappens On Demand or watching us on YouTube. So thank you. Crappens On Demand are our Patreon videos. We're doing them for all our recaps now, except for live shows, obviously. So they've been a little light the past couple of weeks, but we're doing a lot of videos. They come out a week later on YouTube. Also, our bonus episodes, super fun. We've done a couple of making fun of people in the airport. We just did a train station one, which we'll post later this week. So those are up there. So join us there. Thank you so much to everybody who came on tour with us, came out. We had a really, really fun final weekend, and we just can't thank you enough. We had a great time, and I'm so glad to be home, and I'm so glad it's over for a while because, damn, I'm an old bitch. I'll tell you that much. I'm one old bitch, and when one thing goes wrong in the airport, I've become that person who just sits there. My flights were delayed, and this was me all night.
Yeah.
Just doing that, like, teeth-sucking noise where I don't want to, like, Karen out on anybody because it's not their fault that there are storms all over America, but I just wanted to cluck my disapproval, and I did it. So I hope everybody in that airport heard me. That was me if you heard a...
Well, you don't like waiting. You don't like... If there's time that there's nothing to do, you lose your mind.
Yes. If I'm not working, twerking, or jerking, I'm asleep. Okay, I need to be doing something or being asleep. I don't mind just laying down. I don't consider that really waiting. But if it's waiting for anybody or a car door or like an Uber or like when you're trying to go somewhere and your friend is taking forever, or when people are late. Oh no, I'm not a waiter. I just keep thinking of all the, maybe because I was a waiter for so long, I got sick of it.
Yeah, you're just like, I will not wait anymore in any sort of fashion. But yeah, this was a great weekend. Oh my God, the shows were so fun. I'm dead. It's like, now that the entire tour is over, now that this crazy month of June is over for us, I came back to my parents' house and I just sort of had this big exhale, and I just kind of like decomposed on my bed for a while, and then
decomposed.
Yeah, no, wow. I've lost like things. I don't know, like I'm not the same person anymore.
You literally
I decomposed. Died. No, I bacteria ate some of me, but then in that state, then we watched Real Housewives of Atlanta last night. So I'm just going to apologize ahead of time because I was just like, I was like dead to the world, and I was like taking notes. I was like, Marlo's on a date. Marlo's eating a shrimp, So I'm going to do my very, very, very best today. The show must go on, and it will always go on. It always goes on for us. The show never ends. But man, that was a fun time this weekend. Wow. Super, super fun.
It really was. And we're back, and we say that the show goes on. As we know, though, we're on an Atlanta recap, and the show does not necessarily go on because sometimes we skip it, like last week. And guess what? Next week, too, because we're going on vacation. So, sorry.
Yeah,
but we are back with it this week. I think it had a rough start of a season, but I'm enjoying it. Laughed last week. And, of course, we didn't recap that one. We chose to do Martha's Vineyard instead. And we both said, like, wow, that was actually a really fun episode of Atlanta. And I thought this one was super fun, too. So thank God, because I was getting scared there for a while.
Yeah, I thought this one was it was an hour of time of experience that I got to experience. So, I'm all for this show. I mean, it has its highs, it has its lows. Good to see they're still relying on all those cartoons on the screen, which admittedly Orange County did also. And,
I think that's just across the board kind of Bravo thing where someone was like, guys, what we need to do is more cartoon things.
We need to stop that. Okay, I feel like it started with Vanderpump Rules. They did some little skits, and Vanderpump Rules relied heavily on it, not this past season, but the season before, when it was really flagging. And I feel like it's become a crutch. And whenever you see shows that are really relying on little on-screen graphics and silliness and fake movie trailers, that means they don't have anything to do. They don't have any content to give us. So yeah, like I always think that's kind of a bad sign, and rather than doing those things, I would love for the shows to either be tighter or just have better casting, or I don't know. I actually don't have a fix. I'm just complaining, and I don't want to come from a place of complaining. So let's just talk about what happened last week.
We're freaking 5 minutes in complaining. You don't want to come from a place of complaining, okay?
Well, no, meaning that I came from a place of
that but peach has rotted. Okay, that peach has left the building. The complained peach has left the building.
No, I came from a place of complaining in my car, but I turned the car around and I sent the car back. I'm taking an Uber the rest of the way.
You're adding a stop on the complaint journey, and you're
I got out at the Reset rest stop, sent the car back to Complainville, and now I am taking an Uber from Resetville, and I'm embracing this episode.
Okay, well, since we skipped last week, let's just go over it a little bit. So we got to see Drew do her dancing video, she was dancing in her video, which was hilarious because Drew is like Beyonce in her own mind, like she's acting humble, like, oh my God, I love singing, but it's just been so long. I'm just going to give it a good old fashioned try. But in her mind, I mean, she's got like, she hires some director named Rage. Isn't his name Rage? That's really his name, right? And he really is kind of like a ragey, queenie straight guy, though. I think he's a straight guy.
To me, he reminded me of like if Michael Rappaport decided he wanted to do like music videos,
Yeah. I think his name was Rage. And she didn't want to have a Potomac mistake where you get caught in a parking lot with Karen, trying to dance, and Giselle trying to dance on rhythm behind you. And so instead, they went to a skating rink. But then Drew acted like she should get an Academy Award because she learned to skate for this. I was like, you don't know how to skate, and you're doing a whole video in a skating rink? You fucking idiot. Who set this up? Give them a raise.
Listen, she is just a vessel. vessel for artistry, and it, as an actor, whatever the role demands is what it demands. Okay. Had Jeff Goldblum ever seen a dinosaur in real life? No. But he knew what to do when he got cast in Jurassic Park. He stepped into the role. He stepped into the space. And that is what Drew Sedora did in this episode on her roller rink video. But last week,
Goldblum is method, though. And, that was kind of a problem when he was filming The Fly. Because people were like, the guy is just literally barfing on shit and eating it. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Together. Yeah. So Drew's doing a music video with a guy named Rage. And also, she's very excited because the song has 30,000 streams. So, this is great news for all those hardcore Drew Sedora music fans out there on Spotify who've been waiting for a music video. It's coming.
Well, I don't know what streams are good. Like, I don't know what's a good stream and what's your streaming numbers? Like, is that good? 30? I mean, I think it's good. It sounds like a lot of people. Yeah. But I think it was 30,000 people on episode 1. And it's episode 8. So I'm a little worried that you stalled. Let me just say right in advance, you're stalled. Okay, let's do something to amp this up.
Well, I just did a search. I said, how many streams does Taylor Swift get? Because, they're pretty much on the same level. And so Taylor Swift got, for her song called I Don't Want to Live Forever, which is, parentheses, 50 Shades Darker. She has 1.4 billion streams. So, Drew is on her way.
You know what? Coming. I mean, you can't compare, your some mom and pop hamburger store to McDonald's. You know what I mean? No offense. Not calling you a mom and pop. You're a startup. Your startup is all I mean. Sure, the song's great. I recapped this shit, and I actually have some curiosity about the song. I have not looked it up.
Well, you don't have to look it up because the song is literally called You Already Know.
I know. You're like, why would I listen to you then?
Have you heard that new Drew Sedora song? I haven't, but I already know it.
Yeah, it's bad brand. It's not great branding because it's like you already did that. Like, why don't you just call a song?
It's already passé.
You already did that.
It's like already charted. Yeah. That's her next song. Already.
Let's do something else. Her next song. Hey,
listen, there's hope for her. Okay, I was actually reading stuff about the Billboard Hot 100 or whatever today. Oddly enough, yes, I did do this. First of all, Miguel, the singer Miguel, he has a song that came out in like 11 years ago and hit number 1, which actually did like a month ago, but it's like number 4 right now. So it just goes to show that there is time. Like this song, you already know, we may mock it now, but if someone decides that they want to make it go viral on TikTok, I mean, this could be a number 1 song. So we got to hold out hope for Drew Sedora.
Mm-hmm. So then we get to Kandi's. Kandi's in trouble. Like, everyone's trying to come for Kandi. They started with the shooting at her restaurant. Marlo's trying to make that about her nephew who died 2 years ago from a shooting that had nothing to do really with this shooting at all, and all of that stuff that's going on that Marlo's really trying. And then Sheree is really pissed off that Kandi has been making those kind of lip sync karaoke to your own show thing where she just does karaoke of other people's scenes from Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I like those videos. I think they're really funny. But Sheree does not. Sheree does not think they're very funny. Okay, she's not enjoying those.
She's not enjoying them. And then but who is enjoying, who Sheree does have in her corner? Rihanna, someone who also has many more streams than Drew Sedora, because Rihanna apparently said, I love She by Sheree. So Sonia was like, can we talk about how like Rihanna was loving She by Sheree? And then Sheree is like, I feel so incredible to have one of my favorite artists mention She by Sheree, especially after Kandi, hater, talk so much shit.
Yeah. Who do you think Drew Sedora is going to finally get a mention from? I'm going to guess.
I'm going to say Pebbles.
Pebbles. Okay, I'll stick with. I like that. I think that's a solid bet.
Karen White.
So then the other thing was Marlo's being set up on a date. So Marlo's such a fucking hypocrite, and we'll get to that later through the show because she always does it for us every single show. She's like Marlo 2.0 or 5.0 or whatever at the beginning, and by the end of this episode, her mask is completely off again. But I do give her credit for trying it. over and over every single week. But she's such a hypocrite because she makes fun of Kenya for having fake dates and paid for dates, which I totally believe. I don't know that she literally pays them, but I believe Kenya's been fake dating people for years on this show. And Marlo calls her out for it all the time. And then guess what Marlo's going to do? She's going to do the same thing today.
Fake date.
So, yeah.
I mean, Marlo is probably one of the great members of the Hippocrat Party. I mean, she really, there's a scene later on today that we're going to get to where it's just like Marlo is the biggest hypocrite, and this is one of her most hypocritical moments in 11 years of hypocrisy. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So at the very end, so stay tuned for 5 hours of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then they had a Gucci party where Sheree invited everyone to toast. Now, listen, I don't know if toast is a national brand. I know what toast is. And it's like Drew Sedora's video, basically. But I don't know if it's a national brand.
I already knew about toast.
I already ate toast.
Toasts.
And it's a restaurant in LA, so I went to that, and it was pretty cash because it's called Toast. Like, I don't think you can have a fancy place called Toast unless it's like a wine place and you have to make toasts,
Yeah. Unless or maybe it's a place you just have to leave. It's so exclusive, you can't stay in there. So, like, your toasts, you got to go.
Yeah. You're just it's a place where you go when you're really tired. And everyone's like, hi, foreign your party. Are you guys toast? I am. All right. Come on.
That's like literally every place in LA, the service in LA. Guys, I'm so tired.
My boss used to be like that. You would come to she would work the host stand at the restaurant, Kelly, and they'd be like, hi. And she'd go, hi, how are you guys? They're like, good. How are you? And she'd be like, tired. I'm so tired, you guys. I'm like literally so exhausted. And she would list everything she did. The customers would never get to their seat. I would have to come take the menus and be like, just follow me. She's like falling on the ground, like exhausted.
Did she butt into customer conversations at tables?
Yes, totally. And then she'd start talking about her sex life to the people. There was a Yelp review about how the owner of the restaurant kept talking about herself and then started talking about her sex life. I died. Literally died. Okay, so...
By the way, speaking of waitresses, I feel like we didn't talk about this, but did you feel like that waitress... When we had lunch at that restaurant on Saturday, did you feel like that waitress hated us?
No.
She hated us, didn't she?
The blonde one?
Yeah.
No. Why do you think so?
I felt like she hated us. Okay, well, never mind.
I come from a place of assuming everybody likes me. And then I find out later that they hate me. I feel that the experience of just getting crushed like that feels good because it's like putting acid on your face. And by acid I mean acid peels or whatever, because you have to like kill the skin to grow new skin. And it's almost like once I get my feelings hurt that badly, I feel like I can callous up and just take more of life. So thanks for hurting my feelings and making me feel like that lady hated me because I actually thought she was great.
I mean, she was great. I just thought that she was like rageful behind her smile. I felt like she was so annoyed at us. I don't know why. I couldn't figure out why. I was like trying to think, what did we do? But she just seemed really, really mad. But maybe I was just projecting because I do that too. And guess what? I don't even have to tell you this because you already know.
You already toast.
You already toast.
So that lady, she does not have a right to be mad at us anyway because they gave me a grilled vegetable salad where nothing had seasoning or dressing, and it was disgusting, and it was hard to eat. I don't even know what the cream on the bottom was. Was it cream cheese?
That was such a weird salad.
It was weird, and I'm so glad I'm not the only person who got it because your friend backed me up and was like, yeah, this sucks, right? I was
like, weird salad, right?
Thank you. So, how do you roast vegetables? Like, what did you just boil them and put them on the plate? It's not roast. It was just, you guys, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, anyway, the restaurant is Toast. It's a casual restaurant, but it's a Gucci party. So everybody comes in their fake Gucci because let's fake it. They're housewives. They're Real Housewives. So people wear the fake shit. And that's just how it is. And so they came, and then Kenya and Marlo, of course, got in a fight. And it just ended with Kenya going, bottom rung, bitch. Bottom rung, bitch. Bottom rung.
BRB, bottom rung, bitch. Or be right back. Either way, same thing. That was a funny fight. That was a legitimately funny fight.
Yeah. So it was a good one. So we opened this week with Drew's house, a close-up of the family being all close, which is sad because they're broken up. Lana's not doing great with the marriages in the past month or so.
No, wait, did anyone else fall apart?
Kim Zolciak.
Oh yeah, of course. Friends. Kim Zolciak will be on the next episode, of course. The one that will be. Well, we'll probably touch on that when we come back from break. By the way, but yeah, Kim Zolciak. The amount of shady listeners that we have. When we were at Foxwoods, gambling away after the show and being silly, so many people wrote us and were like, "Did you see Kim Zolciak there? Did you see Kim Zolciak?" Which is funny because Kim Zolciak is from Connecticut and she has a massive gambling problem. So.
We saw a lot of Kim Zolciak's about to be's. You know what I mean? Like Kim Zolciak is about to be. Of course, anytime in a casino, you see there's like a certain part of that casino that you're just like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And then I start adding up. You're not supposed to count other people's money, right? But I do. And I start seeing what they're putting in those penny machines. Those penny machines can cost you $20. They have you playing like 9 million lines at a time. And then I look at like the oxygen tank next to them and then the scooter, like the jazzy scooter that's missing a wheel, but it's got like a tennis ball glued to it instead. I'm like, you can't afford this. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of there,
You'd be better off at the dollar machine. Like I want to go explain the economics to them.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was, it's sad when you see those Fuzos, which of course means future Zolciaks, but
but like their marriage sucks, and it's really devolved their divorce. And I was telling Ben this weekend, it really goes to show you how marriage helps you, or how money helps you, because they were fine when they had people taking care of the kids, cleaning the house. The minute it devolved, from what I've read and heard on the Bravo docket, the podcast I go to for all my Bravo legal needs, ding. From what I've read there or listened to there, it started devolving when they went broke and they no longer had a nanny, they no longer had a chef, and they no longer had a maid.
No.
And guess what Kim says? Nothing. She doesn't do anything. She probably doesn't even Facetune herself. It looks like she makes a toddler do her Facetunes because those things don't even make any sense. And then Corey's like, I cook everything. So then this week they've been having a cook-off on Instagram trying to prove who's the better cook as a parent. And he's like, look, I made like chicken fried steak and green beans, and it's all brown and it looks disgusting. Like, I can see that you're trying, but it looks horrible and disgusting, and I can't believe your 5-year-olds haven't had heart attacks yet. And then Kim is showing like $1.50 chicken pot pies from the Costco that she made, and they're trying to like one up each other on like chicken pot pie and really terrible brown food. It's getting sad over there.
That's sad. It's getting sad. That's a sad twist. We've seen a lot of falls from grace, although they never really reached grace. They just sort of fell from lower than grace to even lower than grace. And, but we've never seen it really enter the territory of a chicken pot pie, feud,
Yeah. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial. If you're hiring, you know what it's like to deal with economic uncertainty. And now more than ever, it's really important to hire the right people faster and more efficiently because you got to keep the overall cost down. And thankfully, there's a hiring partner who's focused on you and your needs, and that is ZipRecruiter.
From pricing to technology, everything that ZipRecruiter does is for you and what works best for you.
And right now, you can try them free at ZipRecruiter.com/Crappens.
Now, here's how ZipRecruiter prioritizes your needs. They've got very straightforward pricing, like no surprises, no twists and turns.
ZipRecruiter's smart technology identifies the best matches for your job. Hire the best with the help of a partner who's all about you, ZipRecruiter.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Crappens.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/CRAPPENS.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling. But it's sad. And what's even sadder is for Drew and Ralph, because they got upstaged with their divorce storyline because they announced their divorce, and then more people care about this one. Like,
yeah,
I guess there were so many red flags with the Drew one that no one really cares about.
Yeah, it's really hard to rally, or it's hard to crank up the scandal machine for Ralph and Drew. We've had some really, A+ scandals on Bravo lately. So like, just to do like the Drew and Ralph thing, it's a little hard. But here they are playing house, and Drew's taking her daughter's temperature. Drew is like, correct me if I'm wrong, Drew takes the temperature of her daughter and is like, 98.4, that can't be right. And she does it again. Then she goes, 98.3. There we go. I was like, oh, glad you got that tenth of a degree down there, Drew.
No, she says 104. She says,
that makes more sense. I was like,
why
is
your temperature can't be 104? I was like, what are you using, the chicken thermometer? Like, what are you
that
doing?
Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, why is she being so anal retentive about that one last tenth of a degree?
No, I was actually the opposite. I was like, why is she so calm over a temperature of 104? She's like, 104. Let's just try it again. If I saw 104, it'd be like putting the baby over my knee and like just slapping its back. And I don't know. Is that what you do?
Yeah, you get like the chef to pour a bucket of ice over that child. Cool it down.
So then she's talking to her assistant, because God bless her, has no friends or husband or really anybody who wants to talk to her. So she's talking to a paid friend employee, and
wearing sunglasses indoors. By the way, this assistant's wearing these big mirrored sunglasses in the kitchen as if she's at some party.
Yeah, gotta look cool when you're assisting Drew. You never know when someone's going to need someone to peel the sticker off Drew's apple. better look cool. So Drew talks to the personal assistant. I'm not going to say her name because it will turn on everybody's at their home, but it's a company owned by Amazon. So she's like, lady, play Already Know by Drew Sedora. And the lady's like, sorry, I couldn't find Nobody Cares by Drew Simonadora. And she's like, no, hey, why are you doing me like that? Play Already Know by Drew Sedora. And she's like, yeah, I can't find Nobody Knows Drew Fedorsa. Sorry, don't know what that is.
Yeah, if you'd like, I can play some Taylor Swift for you. No, I don't want to give her another stream.
She's like, bitch, play Already Know by Drew Sedora. She's like, can't find You're Going to Die Old and Unfamous and Poor Drew Sakura. Sorry.
It tries to play music by Juice WRLD. It's like, the best I can do is Juice WRLD, R.I.P. And she's like, no, stop it. Drew Sedora, Sidora. I think I'm going to retire now, actually. So good luck to you in the future. Yeah, you can just use me as a yoga block from now on. Thanks. Bye.
So Drew fails at that, but then she finally gets to that. I don't know if she like manually typed it into her phone or whatever, but she she just pulled it up from her own music library to stream it.
Yes.
So she does that. She Chromecasts it to a speaker, and then she starts doing her dance for her assistant. Listen, your assistant does not want to see you do this dance. I don't want to see you do this dance. Literally nobody wants. You can't skate. That's what I have. That's what I have to say about your lack of preparation. Also, you fucked up your dance. She's like, look, I know how to do my 8 count. You can't even do an 8 count. Get out of here. You went to the hospital after like 2 practices.
I was like, please don't do this right now. You're going to tear another Achilles, please. So Ralph walks in, and Drew starts telling Ralph, like, hey, she's like, you haven't been around a lot lately. The kids have been asking for you. And she says talks about how her mom's going to be coming in this week. And also, like, Allison, her sister Allison, and her friend are going to come on in, and they're excited to see you. And it just sounds like patter, but then we start to realize that there's a deeper story going on with Allison.
So here's what happened. So Drew tells us, oh yeah, my sister Allison, she's been my manager since I was a kid. And like everything in my career, she's always managed. But then in COVID, she had a mental break. Okay, so let's watch how Drew deals with her sister having a literal mental breakdown. First of all, she puts it on camera, which is just fucking disgusting, gross. Yeah. Can the woman have a mental breakdown without you putting it on camera for your stupid show? Okay, so she puts it on camera. It's just on the phone, but still, Drew is trying to do like a scene where she's making muffins with the kids, and her sister's like, I just can't take it anymore. Like, I'm in here in the hospital, and everyone else is just moving on with their life like I'm nothing. And Drew's like, yeah, so you can't think about that right now. Just please take a breath. Blueberries. Put the blueberries in here. Not chocolate chip. Blueberry. I mean, I really got to go. Okay. I'm going to have a mental breakdown if I don't finish these muffins.
Her sister is like crying on the phone, and Drew is like pouring flour into a bowl, like measuring shit out. So, by the way, pay attention to one or the other, but you can't, when it comes to making pancakes and dealing with someone's mental health break, you can't give half attention, because either someone's going to really wind up messed up, or you're going to have terrible pancakes. So just choose one.
Yeah. And so Drew's like, well, I'm going to be, she was in no stable condition to handle the workload that my career demands. What the fuck are you talking about? You're on like 2 acting things a year, and then this is something that you guys have paid everybody to do. Lady.
No, that's exactly right. Because Allison, I think, clearly thrives best under pressure. And unfortunately, Drew is not providing any pressure. She's like, oh my God, your calendar has 1 appointment on it. Oh my God, I'm not thriving. There's no deadlines.
All this being rude to Drew aside, I love Drew on the show, and I'm so glad she's on it, because we're always requesting delusional people on these shows.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing.
And she's really got the delusion going so strong. Like, she's the type of person to just go out and like walk to her car that's parked in the driveway, just like covering her face, like from people taking her picture. It's like, no one's there to take your picture. Stop it. Or wearing big sunglasses and a scarf around her head to Home Goods so she can't be recognized.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree. I was thinking about that when I was watching that. Like, as much as I think that Drew is kind of an idiot and like also kind of like sort of low end for a Real Housewives franchise, at the same time, she does bring that X factor of delusion that really matters. I think the best housewives are the ones who just can't help but be themselves. No matter how hard they try to self-produce, they just fail because their own innate personality always comes through, whatever it is. And that's why I think Drew is, oddly enough, a good housewife. And that's why we see, people right now like Kenya or Kandi or Sheree, even maybe, that they do self-produce a lot, or they hold stuff back. Drew is just like delusion.
Well, Drew's self-producing, but she's just doing it so incorrect. Like, she just keeps getting stymied in her own. It's like, I'm going to have a season about how great my marriage is going, and then boom. Or I'm going to have a season about how great my song is doing, and then it's like not. Or, like everything she tries just falls flat on its face. And that's what makes it so fun. God bless her. So Ralph, basically the sister was having a mental breakdown or something. So Ralph kicked her out of the house or something. There's something that went on where Ralph and the sister hate each other's guts. Yeah. And Ralph's like, I think I should your sister's coming. So maybe I should go to Tampa because I trigger your sister,
Yeah, Drew says that Allison and Ralph were butting heads, and that Allison made some really serious accusations about Ralph being controlling and manipulative. And in an effort to show that he's not controlling and manipulative, he banned her from the house, which is not something a controlling person does whatsoever.
Right. And he knew because of the footage that he took secretly while they were talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Ralph is going to just basically avoid her as best as he can, but he'll still watch on the teddy bear cam. And then now we go over to the She by Sheree production office, and Sheree's on the phone with an operations manager and looking at pictures of like She by Sheree baby outfits on her grand daughter, Mecca? I think daughter, right? Mecca. And the producer's asking if she's made a profit yet. Funny, Mecca. And then Sheree says, well, I don't think I'm in profit right now because I've spent so much money on She by Sheree. Maybe by the end of the year I'll make a profit. Or if not this year, maybe 12 years from now. I'm not sure. I'm not really good with timelines.
She's so funny that she's acting like she's doing all these new designs. It's the same logo that you printed on everything. Why are you pretending like it's some new thing? So she's really mad, and she's like, it's really important to get new product ASAP because it also helps prove haters like Kandi wrong. And then we see Kandi, cuts to Kandi going like, I feel like Sheree should have a sense of humor. And she's like, personally, it was funny. Like, I don't understand why she's not laughing. And then Sheree tells her operations manager, whatever, on the phone. She's like, oh, and by the way, Joe, every time I see you, you have on a hat, but it's never a She by Sheree hat, and I need you to represent the collection. He probably had one and you took it back.
I was about to say there probably are no She by Sheree hats.
She's probably going to try and make him buy one, full price.
Yeah. Also, what's funny about this scene is we also get a glimpse of Sheree doing that thing that Real Housewives do when they want to show people that they have like a real business. She's like giving a random note. It's like Lisa Vanderpump when she walks into SUR. Sheree's like, oh, and the polka dots, those should be stars, right? Okay, my job here is done. Okay.
That was always Lisa Vanderpump's thing, just walking into the restaurant and going, oh, I've been to the flower market today, darlings. I'm going from restaurant to restaurant doing flowers.
Yeah. So now we go to Le Archive, and Marlo is she's doing like an IG live. I guess she does something called Foster Care Friday. So this is one of her like, I'm a good person. You should like me now. So
yeah, but you can't expect a person to change when they won't even change the naming of Le Archive. You know what I mean? Like, that's wrong. Everyone has told you for years that that's incorrect, and you refuse to change that. So I don't trust you.
Yes, please put an apostrophe in there. So yeah, she's doing this IG live about foster care, and it's it's nice or whatever. And then she's talking about it's like her responsibility because she has this platform to give back, and she's like she'll always love the girls that come on to her IG live, no matter what. The world is yours. Her usual like foster care thing, which sounds really cynical that I'm sort of brushing it off because all the foster care stuff is really good that she's doing it, and it is important stuff, but it's also such like a blatant ploy by her to rehabilitate her image from last year when she basically kicked her nephews to the curb.
Well, yeah, it's Marlo. So I like the whole idea. It's like the glamour shot day for, these foster kids. They get to go out and dress up and stuff. And then they're just left on a corner with, a Chanel bag and some red paint on the bottom of their shoes, It's like, so they talk about that. And then Sonia comes over and they... Sonia hasn't learned her lesson yet, so she still really loves Marlo. Also, everybody's really mean to Sonia on this show, so I think the B cast is really bonding. They're like, listen, if they're going to try and cut us out of everything, we're going to bond together and just make a better show without Kenya and Kandi. And who else is being like that? I guess just Kenya and Kandi, right? Sure, but it's not really working because it's like Sonia and Marlo. So they get together and they're like cooing all over each other. And Sonia's like, who cares? So Sonia's like, okay.
She's in Belk.
So yeah, she's like, Belk wants to carry Mommy Nation sweatshirts in their shop.
Yeah, she's really excited about Belk. And then she just starts talking about Marlo, and she's like, it breaks my heart that the Marlo that I know and the other girls don't know. And like when you're in the group, like whatever it is, like they bring the old Marlo out of you. I'm like, that's just Marlo. And when you talk, like, like when you and me, we talk, I feel like you listen, but whenever you're talking to those women, you just lose it. It's almost like it's almost like you want to generate a huge scene. Like there's cameras there and you just want to take over the entire moment. I don't know what it is. It's strange.
So how is it called Old Marlo when it's like in every scene? You know what I mean? There has not been one group scene where that Marlo hasn't been there. So why are you saying Old Marlo like it's something that was put away in a box?
Current Marlo. That Marlo hasn't gone away. It's not Old Marlo. It's just Marlo.
Still fresh Marlo.
Fresh.
So Marlo's like, well, I do agree with you on that, Sonia, but I'm also going to disagree with you on that because that's how I deal with things now after therapy. So because it's Foster Friday, let me just say, did you hear at the table where Kandi said she could fuck my flowers to send to my blood nephew? And then I said, you're saying fuck my dead nephew and fuck my mom too. I'm like, no, she did not say fuck your dead nephew and fuck your mom too. No one said that.
Yeah. And so
Your
she's
sister.
saying like,
Sister,
she's
I
like,
mean, not mom, sorry.
every time I turn around, these heifers are bringing me down, and I'm working so hard to be a better Marlo by, paying someone off of Craigslist to come over to my house and talk to me a little bit. And listen, when the girls are talking, there's nothing I can do right. Nothing at all that I could do right.
And she's like, well, even if she doesn't like me, she can say sorry about your sister. Like, why can't I get anything like that? You did. And we saw the scene of it happening. What are you talking about? You're bringing this up 2 years later. The week later, you asked the woman to join up on your cameo.
Yeah.
Get out of here with this fake ass storyline.
So then she's like, on a happier note, which is her way of saying, okay, that storyline is over.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we end that storyline, I just have one question. I don't know if you can help me. When Melvin got shot, did he get flowers from Marlo, or did Kandi get flowers from Marlo? I'm just wondering. I know he's still alive, but he did get shot at work. So that would be nice if you gave a shit to send Melvin some flowers or say sorry about Melvin,
Well, there is an answer to that question. And I don't even have to say it because you already know. So Marlo is like, on a happy note, I have to tell you something. I'm going on a date. I know it's what everyone's been waiting for. And he's Jamaican. So Sonia's like, ba, 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 ba. That's exactly what you needed. So she's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like tired of everyone always saying I'm a whore who only dates old white men. Like, no one's been between these legs in over 4 years, for crying out loud.
Don't believe you. You have a lot of money. Where do you get your money? That's it. And by the way, I'm not whore shaming you either. I'm whore praising
Honoring
you. Because if that is the truth and you are hoeing it out and you have made this kind of a life on hoeing it out, which I think you have really well fucking done. And in a world of OnlyFans and porn being basically normalized at this point, you know what I mean? I would pivot, I would pivot and be proud of it and become like a hero. I mean, You need a business. You can't just rent out your one size clothes for the rest of your life that Ted Turner bought you, allegedly. You're going to need something else. I would suggest hoe coaching,
Yeah.
Hoaching.
Let's do it.
We could call it hoaching.
Yeah. So Marlo is, she's going to be like, she's very excited for this. Well, she's apprehensive, but she's going to ask all sorts of questions of the guy. She's going to find out how much money does he have? Does he have a credit score? Is he in debt? Where is he from? What are his interests? And, again, how much money do you have? And are you late on your taxes? And one more time, how much money do you have? I was like, the emphasis on asking how much money the guy has is maybe not a great way to dispel any images people have of you being a prostitute,
I know. She wants that to be her personality, to be funny, but then get mad at people when they suggest that that's what she's doing. That's how she is.
Yeah, she's like, I don't sleep with men for money. How much money do you have? What's your tax bracket? Any debt? Any loans?
It's time for a commercial. It's time.
Hi, I'm Michael Patrick King, host of the official Max Companion podcast, and just like that, The Writer's Room. Each episode, members of The Writer's Room and I unpack moments from Season 2, sharing juicy details you can only hear from us. Stream And Just Like That Season 2 starting June 22nd on Max, and listen to And Just Like That, The Writer's Room on Max or wherever you get your podcasts.
For a Crappens commercial.
Okay, so Sheree pulls up to a park in a full-length fur. And Kandi joins because they're going to go for a walk. And Candy's cracking up that she showed up in a mink and high heels to go for a walk. And Sheree's like, who are we fucking kidding? We're not walking. Here's the hot chocolate I bought you. Let's go sit down and ingest 500 calories while we fight.
Yeah, exactly. So they do walk 3 feet and then turn around and then find a bench, which is kind of funny. So Kandi is like, I feel like every time I've been around you guys, I've been in arguments this season. And Sheree's like, yeah, what's that about? As if Sheree hasn't also poked the bear. So Candy's like, I'm just reflecting too much negativity off of me or whatever. And Sheree's like, well, with Marlo, she said so much negative stuff about you last time. And then all it took was a bucket of chicken. So maybe this time it's like 2 buckets of chicken or something to fix it this time around. And
maybe some mac and cheese on top of that.
Yeah.
And so Kandi just laughs and starts asking Sheree about her life. She talks about her grandbaby, but then she pivots to, okay, that was great. So I thought we were good on the reunion. And then I hear you on other platforms talking negatively about my business. Dun, dun, dun. And Sheree explains it pretty well, I think, where she's like, listen, you've got a huge following. And then it shows a close-up of Kandi's Insta followers, which are like 10.6 million. And she's like, so when you say negative things about my business, that hurts my business. And I've always supported you, and I supported your store, and I supported your restaurant. And that's when I have to say, no, because you do it in that Marlo way, where right now you're about to completely diss them and drag them on purpose with rehearsed lines. So you don't get to use that right now about how supportive you are. Also, you totally trashed Kandi all last year and agreed that she was a whore who fucked her way to the top when Marlo was coming for Kandi. So if you don't want somebody to spout off online about you, then don't call them a whore all year, maybe.
But that being said, Kandi is punching down. Okay. I mean, it's funny. It's one thing when we're making fun of it, but Kandi is like, she's punching down. She does have like 10 million followers, which, by the way, it's not like because she has 10 million followers, that's what has ruined She by Sheree's reputation. Sheree ruined She by Sheree's reputation. But she's kind of punching down and then sort of surprised that like Sheree is upset about it. I kind of feel like I kind of want Kandi to be like, yeah, I mean, she sort of does say I was being shady. But Kandi's like a little surprised. She's like, I thought it was being funny. When the truth is that if anyone did come for Kandi's businesses the way she was being quote unquote shady about She by Sheree, Kandi would lose her mind. She really would. So I actually kind of side with Sheree on this.
Well, I feel like Sheree came for Kandi all season last year and then fought with her at the reunion, like kept it up. And then was shot. And this wasn't just like, oh, Sheree didn't release her clothes right or her site didn't work right. This was a designer coming out and saying, this lady has not paid me. She took I built all of this stuff for her design. She never paid me for any of it. She didn't even reimburse me for any of it. So I think if you're going to come for somebody publicly and on national television and call them names and stuff like that, they're under no obligation to be nice to you and to act like you haven't been teaming up with Marlo and going crazy. Now, of course, the She by Shein or whatever was shady, but why is Kandi held to a different standard where everybody else can just drag her all season, but the second she does anything to them, everybody comes for Kandi?
Because I think it's just the punching down factor. Because Kandi's just like so much.
Then she can't be on the Housewives show then, because you're all on the same show.
Well, maybe she shouldn't.
If you're all on the same show and it's considered one punching down that one of you fights back, then everybody else is just allowed to stand around and throw stones at that person. That's not fair, and I don't want to watch that show. I want to watch where everybody's on the same level. Listen, whoever's richer, whoever's more famous, whoever has the most followers, you're all still on a Housewives show. So the same rules.
Well, here's my complaint. That this did not happen on the show, right? Like here we're having another fight about something that happened on Instagram in between seasons. How about you bring that energy onto the actual show?
Well, her after show on YouTube or whatever Kandi does,
or whenever.
But that's another thing because they also do the after shows where they all talk shit about each other. So a lot of the stuff is just stuff we haven't seen yet. But I'm kind of glad that they're acting like we've already all seen it, so that we don't have to go on about it for 5 episodes.
Yeah. So Kandi is, she's basically like, she thinks it's so odd that Sheree had this Gucci luncheon to make sure that everyone could mend relationships, but then didn't address their issue. So, but Sheree says that she just wanted to have it like, this goes so deep and goes so far back that she just wanted to have like a conversation, girlfriend to girlfriend in a park, in a mink with Louboutins on. And so Kandi's like, well, I didn't mean to shade your business. Okay. I didn't understand how I was being shady. I just was merely broadcasting to my 10 million followers that you have a sham of an operation going on. But I didn't really personally think that was shady.
Sheree is like, I mean, you're saying that my website didn't crash because of the demand, but it absolutely did crash. And she's like, okay, but I went to that site on the day of and it wasn't working. So, and she's like, well, did you buy anything? And she says, have you ever put anything for sale yet? Because it wasn't working when I went there. And Sheree's like, it's been up 2 months. And she says, I haven't purchased anything because when I tried to go there, the website wasn't working, which is like, hello. That's what she's saying, you know? But Sheree is so mad because she's trying to comfort Kandi about this. But then Kandi is just saying like, yeah, but your business didn't work. And there was nothing to buy. So she's kind of coming back at her with facts. And then Sheree goes into one of her Sheree things where she's like, no, you don't understand what was happening. We were getting kicked out of the back end. It was the back end. And that's what websites have. Their ends in the back. And so you try and go around, you try and get in, but you can't get in. And then when you do get in, you say, do you have baseboards? Do you have baseboards? And that's why I moved the time, because it was a holiday and it was a Sunday. So there was no one to open the back end because we were locked out of the back end. And what you're seeing is they opened another shop. And then why would I lie about my site crashing? Like, she doesn't even really understand the logistics of how sites work or why they crashed or what the back end is. So your site crashed because it was a shitty little site you probably paid $20 a month for on the host alligator or whatever, host monster or whatever. And you were on a show with millions of viewers who all tried to go on at the same time, and it crashed the site. So yes, I think the site did crash. The point is you weren't prepared, and that's what she's clowning you for.
Yeah, I love that Sheree is like proudly advertising that her website crashed. Like, she's actually spinning it that way. And so I take back what I said a little bit earlier when I said that, when I was talking about housewives who can't help but be themselves. And I lumped Sheree in with Kandi and Kenya, but I should not have done that because Sheree definitely cannot help being Sheree. Like, the fact that she does this whole monologue about all the reasons why the site did crash and why that's actually a good thing that it crashed.
It's her tagline.
And like, she's like proud that it crashed. And she starts saying these things. She's like, I mean, you go to a fashion show, you can't buy that stuff. It drops at different times. Some drop at this time, and then a few more drop at this time, and then a few more drop at this time. And everything on my show is on my website. No, because things got to drop. You know, by the way, you can't release my stuff in space because there's no gravity, so things can't drop. So that's what you got to know. And you're like, what are you talking about, Sheree? I love you.
She's so crazy. So then she's like, and was everything from the show on the site? No, of course not, because it has to be done in different drop. Nothing from the show is on the site. And then we even see pictures. They put up side-by-sides of what was shown in the show and then the stuff she buys off Shein, which everybody knows. Now, that said, I think her argument is valid. Like, well, you had a store. She's like, Kandi, you had a store that I went to support, and you couldn't even wash that stuff once. It all fell apart. And Candy's like, who cares? I didn't design it. It's like I always said I was buying it. We were selling other people's designs, but you're saying you're selling Sheree designs, and then you're not serving Sheree designs. So you're lying. You're faking it to people. You know?
Yeah. And Sheree's like, well, what about the bad news about your restaurant? What about you didn't pass your health inspection, you know? And Candy's like, but I went back and I passed it, though. And then Kandi actually has a slip of the tongue. She actually goes, but you know, with your stuff, with like the She by Shein stuff. And Sheree's like, no. She by Sheree, not She by Shein. Definitely not She by Shein.
And then they go boom, and they pause on black and white because we see that it's all clothes from Shein. It was all over the internet. The clothes are there with links to it. So then she changes to her. Changes to like well, I came to your restaurant and I brought 12 people. Remember when I brought 12 people to support your restaurant? First of all, how much of that were you expecting to be comped?
I know. How about
12
that
people
part
to Blaze? Because that is expensive, and Sheree does not like to pay people. We all know that. It's like a plot line on the show. And so she's like, and then we waited 3 hours for the food, and then when it did come, half of the stuff you were out of, and I never went on the radio, and I never did interviews about the bad service I had there or in your store.
Kandi doesn't care. She literally had an entire series dedicated to the bad service at her restaurant.
Yeah, okay? She made a whole show about it.
We have Todd proudly announcing that he would not buy a generator for the restaurant because he didn't want to pay for it.
Well, that was Old Lady Gang, but still.
Well, was she talking about Blaze or Old Lady Gang? Either way, the point is that Kandi is not afraid to show how shitty the service is at her restaurant, okay?
Yeah, no one would brag about bringing 12 people to Old Lady Gang. It's Blaze that you brag about because that's like the expensive one, you know?
And it is shitty service. I love very friendly and warm service, but things take a long time there.
We haven't been to Blaze. We've only been to Old Lady.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Old Lady Gang in terms of...
Oh, God.
My brain keeps going to OLG.
Force us to walk down those stairs and then not wait on us forever and then give me some cold mac and cheese.
Well, remember when we got there, we showed up at like 1:30 p.m. There were like 3 people there and they're like, sorry, it's a 2-hour wait. We're like, a 2-hour wait? Yeah, but you can sit over here and maybe something will open up. So we're like, okay, let's just sit down for a moment. And I went on to Open Table, and there were all these tables, so I booked a table right then and there, and I went back up to the waitress. I go, oh, guess what? We have a reservation now. She goes, oh, right this way then. I was like,
And then when we saw the show, we were like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
It all makes sense.
So then, so Kandi's like, you're trying to come for me about now my clothes at tags. I don't care. Those are shit that I buy from China and put my name on, which is what I was telling you to do the whole time. No one cares that you designed or did not design these clothes. What we were telling you was, you've talked about She by Sheree for 10 years. All you have to do is go on Shein and buy the clothes and put your tag on them. It's what every housewife does, okay?
Yeah, go do that. And it sounds like what Kandi is actually really upset is that Sheree acted too good for Kandi's advice and did it anyway, and then didn't give Kandi credit in some weird way.
Well, no, it's that she's lying about it. Well, she's saying I'm too good I'm not going to be like your shitty store and put my tag on someone else's clothes. And then she does it and then lies about it and pretends that those are her designs. Those are not your designs. You're fucking lying about it. Just admit to lying about it.
But then she sort of admits it too, because Kandi's like, you said like that we were crazy for bringing it up, and then you went and did the same thing, that we said you should do. And then Sheree goes, well, but everyone in fashion does it. I hire a production manager, things drop at different. Have you heard about drops? Eye drops, fashion drops, all the same thing. Kandi's like, so we told you that it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, she just changes her tactic, and she's like, of course I do that. That's what everybody does. Like, oh my God. So then Sheree, now she's using that argument over and over. And Kandi's like, I know everybody does it. That's why we suggested it the first time. And she's like, yeah, but you're making it sound negative now, like She by Shein. And no, not She by Shein. Yeah. But yes, you just said that everybody does it. So why are you...
It was such a ridiculous fight. And then Sheree starts going back to the stores because Sheree had a store, and Sheree's like, well, my store and your store, like my stuff, it doesn't compare. And Kandi's like, girl, that's because it doesn't compare because your store doesn't exist anymore. And Sheree's like, well, but I closed it voluntarily, honey. I was going through a divorce, so I voluntarily closed it. Kandi's like, ugh, why are we arguing about this? She's like,
yeah, Kandi, look, so basically Kandi gives her what she wants, kind of. She's like, listen, I get why you're upset. I get that I went on my account and went onto a public platform and dissed your business, and I will apologize for that. That wasn't cool of me. And she's like, okay, I appreciate that. Does not take back the multiple businesses that she just slandered. On national television, which was fine. And Kandi just laughs it off. She's like, I don't need this from you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going in this with you.
Which I really love. This is what I do love about them, because this does remind me of old school Roni, the way they could just just go at each other and then decide, okay, I've had enough. And then they just hug and they're like happy again. And so like Sheree's like, yeah, I'm on a healing journey. I'm on a healing journey. I went to Salt Lake City recently and I learned about healing journeys and decided to go on one myself. And so now here I am. I'm really, really feeling
she goes,
I'm on a healing journey.
I feel like we did make some trainway. It's like, what the fuck is trainway?
It's clearly not headway. It's just trainway. It's like where you...
What is trainway? Is trainway where you just don't have to actually apologize for anything you did wrong and just choo-choo on? Like, what is it?
She's literally working on the high-speed rail in California. She's like, well, we did work on that railway while we were fighting, so that's the good news.
Thank God for trainways. So Kenya and Brooklyn are making cookies, and Brooklyn's like, I want to eat some. And she's like, I don't think you can eat the raw chocolate, Brooklyn. Let's read the package. And Brooklyn's just eating it. while she's reading the package.
And then Sonia and Ross are in a car talking about like her cycle and having sex, and Marlo's with her manager Ty talking, and Ty is telling Marlo about how great foster care Fridays are and her big dates tomorrow. And then we wind up with Kandi and Todd, and Candy's reading the pitch for Todd's script, and it's like, when a couple gives each other one night off from fidelity, their lives are turned upside down as their one night of pleasure is turned into a tool of deception. In Todd Tucker's upcoming movie, Schmindecent Schleposel.
So she's, some business meeting. So he's like, oh, we've got the script done. And then we see actress / producer Reese is there with them. And he's like, and you saw the deck, right? Can I typecast you? You can lick on some women in the movie. I can't just put anybody in that role, Kandi. And she's like, you mentioned Drew playing the wife, but I don't know. That might be kind of awkward, because I don't want to play opposite Drew. And
she basically doesn't want to make out with Drew in the movie, And Candy's like, I was already on a TV show where I had like a girlfriend, and I kind of don't want to do that character again, especially with Drew Sedora. I don't really want. And he's like, but you don't want to. You don't want to be
she saying, I've been in a show where I had a girlfriend play a character, and I didn't want to be in a similar situation. I think she means Portia. When Portia was in her play, remember?
No, she was on. Kandi was played in the Lena Waithe show,
on the Showtime show.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I think she's saying I've been in a production with a girlfriend before, meaning I thought she was talking about Portia in the play, but I don't know. I guess
the audience will tell us one way or another.
She doesn't want to be with Drew in this thing. But Todd's like, yeah, you don't want to be typecast as the and she's like, as the girl who's going to be turning people out. So I don't know what this. I don't know what this plot is, but they're making it sound more interesting, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Candy's it's a sexual thriller. So Candy's basically like, are you really sure you want Drew Sedora to play that role? Like, what if she tears an Achilles during the table read? And Todd's like, yeah, because I think she has the look and the act, and then all of a sudden Todd becomes like inside the actor studio. He's like, I really felt like that character fit her, like it was her. Like when I was conceiving it, I was like, that's true. That's Drew Sedora in that role. I was like, okay. You're like, who do you know in this circle who's an actress who'd be willing to perform in this role? Drew Sedora.
Yeah. So then we go to Chef Chastity over at Drew's house.
Wait, I just want to say one last thing.
Oh.
I thought it was funny because Todd's like upset that Kandi is being hesitant about taking the role. And he's like, if this was a big movie and not like my independent low budget film, and they called you and say, we want you to play against Drew Sedora, like you would do it. Like, are you not going to do that? She's like, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm like, Todd, talk about false equivalencies. The whole point is your movie is nothing. It's like a tiny little movie. You can't act like, oh, if I were Steven Spielberg, you'd do it. Like, hell yeah, of course you would do it, Todd. Stop trying to kill Kandi.
Duh. I mean, you can talk anybody into anything with that kind of logic. Like,
yeah.
Hey, are you going to do my movie, Al Pacino? No. What if I was Roman Polanski? Oh, like, okay, well, sure, I'll do it.
Maybe no again. But like, what if I were James Cameron?
I thought of Roman Polanski.
I don't know.
But I was trying to think of Al Pacino.
What if I were Woody Allen? Okay.
It's the most problematic of all time.
The point is,
I'm already done. You stuck me in the Al Pacino era. And I was like, who directed that movie where he dances?
Al Pacino dances?
Kiss of the Dance Lady.
Scent of a Woman?
Scent of a Woman.
Tango?
Yes.
I have that soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. What was that Chris character in that kid who was that blonde kid who was also in it? Then he disappeared. He was like Robin, and then he just disappeared.
He's on NCIS Los Angeles. Chris.
He is?
I think he is. And remember, he was in Fried Green Tomatoes. Remember?
I just feel like he's like Ricky Spoon. I feel like he's like a Matrix Ricky Schroeder. Ricky Spoon. Ricky Silver Spoon Schroeder.
Name. People are going, Chris O'Donnell.
Okay. Yeah, I don't care.
Loved Chris
Okay,
O'Donnell.
so then we go to Drew's house, and Chef Chastity's there. She's always there, which again leads me to the question, and again, listening to the Bravo docket, and Ralph trying to get spousal support and all this stuff from Drew, saying that she's the one making the money, and she makes more than him. Does she, though? How? And where are you guys getting all this money that you literally have a private chef every day? Because at first I thought, okay, Chastity is here occasionally or only when they're shooting to look fancy, but Chastity's over there all the time cooking.
All the time.
You have to be like legit rich, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, credit card limits are a blessing sometimes. And the thing is that I feel like when they came onto the show, the whole thing was that Ralph worked in tech. And he made his money in tech. He does tech stuff. And I always got the sense that, like, Drew was a child star, had been in movies, but, like, he was working in tech and he was bringing in the money, and it was going to let her follow artistic pursuits. But now we're supposed to believe the woman who has the 30,000 streams on Spotify is the one who's the breadwinner. I don't know. Chastity better make sure those paychecks are coming through.
Yeah, that's why I think that's another reason. I don't know, but she's still there. And then Drew's like, "Hey, Chastity, are you going to cook for everybody tomorrow at the set?" I'm like, "For your 50 people on the set day? Sure, Chastity will just knock that out for $5."
It's like,
what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, it's also 8:00 right now, Drew. If you wanted to cook for everyone tomorrow, you got to let her go to the store.
Yeah, give her some time, lady.
It's called prep time.
She's just talking, to her mom about how she's so excited to do a real video and she's going to be roller skating and she's just excited. And then it says production wraps at 10:30 p.m. 2 hours later, Allison arrives.
And so we're thinking, oh, shit, something bad is about to happen because production's already wrapped. And now we're on like a producer cam, like what's about to go down. So Allison shows up. And she's really late. So you're like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. And Drew is like, so great Allison's here. Ralph went to bed, though. Like, oh, cool. Cool.
So now we go to the video shoot at the roller rink, okay? And Rage is like, it's time. Do not let distractions bother you. And Drew's like, the vision for my video is women empowerment and roller skating and me meeting my man later at night because you already know.
I love that. That's what I think of. Like when I think of a women empowerment, I'm like, yeah, roller skating and then meeting a guy afterwards. It's like it's a potent image,
Yes. The only happy ending can be actually finding a man. So, wow, that's really empowering. Love it. Love it.
And he's on top of a tailor's store. It's crazy. So Kenya and Courtney show up in costume. Courtney's like, she's like in full Wicked Witch mode. And Jeanette's there and Allison is there. And at one point, Ralph walks over to Jeanette and is like talking to Jeanette. And Allison walks away and that gets a moment because it's like a family fractured.
Ralph fractures everybody, basically. Ralph has a good relationship with nobody, is basically how this family works, right?
Yep.
And so Rage is like, we gotta go, let's do it. And this wasn't last week, this is this week where Drew can't skate. I just love this. I thought it was so funny. And she's like, look, I learned to skate just yesterday and still can't do it. So they have to basically push her around this roller rink the whole video. And
by the way, last week's drama, I believe, with the video was that it was like, oh, we're going to cast a hot guy instead of Ralph for the video. And it's like, will Ralph be upset? But Ralph wasn't upset. So they're like, oh, shoot. Okay, well, then let's have Ralph be in the video after all. But Ralph, now you have to take off your shirt. Will Ralph be upset? And Ralph was like, okay, I'll take off my shirt. It's like, oh, all right. Well, I guess that's that for last week.
That was pretty funny, though. It was a good plot. It's just like, I have to tell my husband he's not sexy enough to be in our video because he's fat now. It's like, what? He's not fat. How is this a plot?
Yeah. So Sheree and Kandi were no shows for this music video shoot, which is too bad. And now Drew is
Kandi's
with her
like,
skating.
LOL, I'm sure I'm going to come be in your music video. No, ma'am.
Yes. She's like, oh, let me just revive my Kandi girl persona and put myself right into your music video.
Right. So let's see. So basically, we just see everybody there. Ralph and Allison have a scene where he comes up and he's nice to her, so she cries. And he tells us there's a lot of things that Allison's done that has interrupted our relationship, but I just wanted to see how she's doing during her time. And he's wearing a sweater that says Givenchy really big, Givenchy really big. And they make up. And then everybody starts crying. And Drew's like, oh my God, you guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm like, it was a roller skating video. You can't even skate. You just got pushed in a circle for an hour.
you were towed along like a car in a movie shoot, you know? They do that.
You know who should be given credit for all the work they did on this video shoot? Your Chef Chastity. Okay. I think
Beyonce
she worked
for
longer
doing it
for
first.
this day's food than you have ever worked for this music. Okay.
Or like Kenny at one point is like, this is just like a low key version of like Beyonce's Blow video. And that's basically what it is. And of course that is what Drew would do, which is like the next video is gonna be her black and white, like rolling around on a beach being like, I'm drunken in love feelings.
She's like, my boogie board.
Drunken in passion.
So
anyway,
then we go to Marlo getting ready for her date night, her big fake date night. And she's like, oh, I'm like a 16-year-old on my first date. She's like, I can't believe I have my boobs out. I'm like, who are it? Would you stop? We've been watching you on this show for years. Last week, she actually said, what if he touches my butt? I was like, you fucking pull out your Apple Pay and you make him scan your QR code. That's what you fucking do.
Get the square thing. So then Marlo's now in a car being driven, and she's like, please, Lord, do not let me cough, which... I like that because we heard her cough earlier this season. I was like, so the driver starts to pray for Marlo that she won't cough. And Marlo is talking about like how she's just like really hoping this guy is gonna be sexy and rich and all that stuff. And so she calls Sonia. And she's like, hey, where are you? I'm going on my date, and you didn't even check in on me. And Sonia's like, oh, yeah, well, cool. Let's see this outfit. Cool. Hey, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I was at Drew's music video today. And Marlo's like, oh, well, that's nice. I guess I didn't get the invitation, huh?
Why would Drew call you? Why would she invite you? So she's like, well, I'm going to call her on FaceTime and tell her I got a date. She's so fake. When I call her, she just might flip over because she's so fake. I hate fake people. Stupid fake bitch. Hi, Drew. You're so beautiful. What are you doing? Drew, God, you're gorgeous, Drew. Gorgeous.
And she's like, I'm shooting my video. You look so gorgeous in that video. And she's like, well, I'm shocked that you're calling me. She goes, well, I just want to say congratulations. And I'm just like really nervous right now because I'm on the way to a blind date. And Drew's like, okay, like, are you serious? And Drew's like, why is Marlo calling me right now? We're like in a fight. So Marlo, in case people did not pick up on what Ronnie was saying, Marlo, who has just complained about Drew being fake, is the one who's truly being fake right now, actively calling up Drew to pretend to be friends, to learn to like entrap Drew into being fake with Marlo's own fakery, and then she can accuse Drew of being fake. When you're the
Drew's
fake one
actually
all
not
along.
fake at all.
Drew's like, actually real.
So yeah, just to keep it real, I need an apology from you. Like, what the fuck? And she goes, oh, well, baby, I'm sorry then. She's like, well, if we were friends, then you got to be able to, I mean, I need to know that we're good. And she's like, okay, then I do apologize. And I'll be honest, I didn't know you were that upset about me saying fuck you to me because I'm from Florida, or saying fuck you to you because I'm from Florida and you're from Chicago. But Florida, I mean, listen, you know, Florida, she's going
She's
on.
like, when you're in Florida, like we say like, hey, bitch, what you doing? Hey, bitch, what are you up to? And Drew's like, but not with that energy, though. And Marlo's like, absolutely. I accept that. I receive that. And so Drew goes, oh, really? Well, let me finish. I don't even like how you're showing up as a friend. And Marlo just hangs up on her. She's like, enough.
And then here comes Marlo. She couldn't even fake it for one car ride where she was going to pretend to be a good person. She's like, and after she just went off on a monologue about how fake somebody else is, that person held her feet to the fire for 2 seconds. And Marlo went from, hi, gorgeous, straight into, Bitch, shut up, that fake, stupid, fat bitch. Bitch, you do too much. Bitch, you were around. You're so fucking ugly. Your wig is buckling up on the phone. Bitch, you're built like a whole square. You are a bad body. Your man doesn't even want you. He's busy looking at this voluptuousness. Is that the word? And then her gay driving is like, voluptuousness. And she's like, voluptuousness then. Like, wow.
Bitch, you're a deranged wannabe an actress. It's like, you were the one who was being totally obnoxious and totally rude right there.
She sucks. Marlo sucks. So then we go to, they pull up. It's our first date in a strip mall, which she's mad about. But I don't know. I think it's that kind of town where there's a lot of things in the strip mall. Some of our nicest restaurants where I live are in a strip mall, damn it. Back off the strip malls.
And the food at this place actually looked pretty good. And then, you know me, of course, I went to Yelp and I looked it up, and it had like about 120 reviews. It had 4 stars, which is, you know, we like to have a 4.5-star restaurant personally, but like, you know, 4 stars is okay. I think for this restaurants that they go to on this show, like considering that Old Lady Gang is like somewhere in like the 2.5 region, 4 is like pretty good, and the menu looked good. So I gave a thumbs up to Continent. So Marlo walks in and she meets her date, and his name is Scott Lee. And they hug, and she's like, "Oh, you smell good." And he's like, "Yeah, I have to smell good for you." She's like, "Oh, wow." And he gives her an enormous arrangement of roses. Like, there's so many. It was huge.
Yeah. And he's doing the like, "You're so sexy." And she's like, "Oh, I'm just a girl." You know, she's trying to pull off this fake date. Nobody's really buying it. And so she's like, well, they get pepper prawns. Okay. And she's like, "I won't touch the head. Let's just taste the body of it." And then we get sexy eating. And he's like, "Yeah, suck and eat the head. Suck the head." And she's like, "I've never done that before. I'm just a girl."
Yeah. And so he is like 39, which is surprising, because I definitely thought he was like 53. And she was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's fine." By the way, this is actually probably the best person for Marlo, because this guy is a chef. So, you know, people always say chefs are crazy. And I feel like the perfect pairing for a chef would be someone like Marlo. I actually see this like working really well.
Marlo is not looking for somebody. Sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you. This is all a lie.
It's all a lie.
But, you know, enjoy buying it. Okay. So she asks him if he has any skeletons in his closet. And he's like, "Oh, I've been locked up a couple times." And she's like, "Oh my God, it's meant to be. Me too. Let's get married." And he goes, "Oh, like Bonnie and Clyde." And she's like, "Oh my God, thank Jesus. Now I've got a new member to the iconic ex-con story." And so she's so excited that they
both have a record. Because they teased this like last week and all the way this episode, like, "Oh no, he went to jail a few times. Like, Marlo's looking for Prince Charming and this is what she gets." But she's so happy. She's like, "Oh, thank God. Thank God." Because she knows she won't get judged. Does she even ask why he got thrown in jail at all? She's like,
no, she doesn't ask. The longest he says was 6 months. His longest stint was 6 months. And
she's like, "Me
so
too."
She's like, "Wow, this is so romantic. I just feel like I'm 15 again. Wow." You know, most guys don't really know how to romance a woman, but you sure do. The way you were talking about sucking head and being in prison. God damn it, you're romantic.
He's like, "Listen, I'm a man, and you're here to be spoiled right now. So enjoy that shrimp head and this oversized bundle of flowers, because I'm going to roll out the red carpet for you." Although I don't actually have a red carpet, but that was more of a metaphor.
Yeah, so she's on Kenya's fake-ass man storyline, so have fun with that. But overall, I thought it was a pretty fun episode. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I mean, it had funny parts, for sure. You know?
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks, Patreon video peoples. Thank you, YouTube. Next week, hi, it's the future. We love you. Go to Patreon for bonuses, all that stuff. We sure love you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Ava Nagila Weber.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch or Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Raising kids can be one of the greatest rewards of a parent's life. But come on, some days parenting is unbearable.
I Love My Kid, But is a new parenting podcast from Wondery that shares a refreshingly honest and insightful take on parenting. Hosted by myself, Megan Gailey, Chris Garcia, and Kurt Braunohler, we will be your resident not-so-expert experts. Each week, we'll share a parenting story that'll have you laughing, nodding, and thinking, oh yeah, I have absolutely been there.
We'll talk about what went right and wrong. What would we do differently? And the next time you step on yet another stray Lego in the middle of the night, you'll feel less alone.
So if you like to laugh with us as we talk about the hardest job in the world, listen to I Love My Kid, but wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Celebrity beef, you never know if you're just going to end up on TMZ or trending on Twitter or in court. I'm Matt Belisai.
And I'm Sydney Battle, and we're the hosts of Wondery's new podcast, Dis and Tell. Each episode explores a different iconic celebrity feud. From the build-up, why it happened, and the repercussions. What does our obsession with these feuds say about us?
We're starting off with a pretty messy love triangle between Selena Gomez and Justin and Hailey Bieber. A seemingly innocent TikTok of Selena talking about her laminated eyebrows. It snowballed into a full-blown alleged feud.
But it doesn't seem like fans are letting up anytime soon, despite both Selena and the Biebers making public statements denying any bad blood. How much of this is teen jealousy and lovers quarreling, and how much of it is a carefully crafted narrative designed to sell albums?
Follow Dis and Tell wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music